So we're talking about RTBs. We mean roots, tubers and bananas. As you know, these crops are really central and staple to African diet. And in many countries, they provide over 40% of calories for people. Also, in the next 25 years, the population of those countries is predicted to almost double. So if we're going to be able to feed these people and provide good nutrition, we really need to increase the production of RTB crops.
KEPHIS is a state corporation in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. We are a national strategic institution in the sense that we regulate agricultural sector in the country. Our mission is to assure plant health, quality of agricultural inputs and produce towards a food secure nation and safe trade.
IITA is one of the CGIAR center with headquarters in Nigeria, and we are currently operating in more than 22 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. The crops we are mainly focusing on are maize, cowpea, soybean, cassava, yam, banana and plantains.
The International Potato Center values this collaboration with KEPHIS, other CGIAR centers such as the IITA, the national partners, other partners at regional as well as global levels.
The CGIAR, through the research initiatives in the Genetic Innovation Science Group, have been establishing collaborative breeding networks in collaboration with CGIAR centers, national agricultural research systems in East and Central Africa, as well as institutions of higher learning, universities and polytechnics.
The Plant Quarantine and Biosecurity Station is one of our key stations that ensures prevention of introduction and spread of pests and diseases in the country. The facility therefore plays a key role in enhancing food availability in the country, as well as supporting research among other functions.
So one thing about RTB crops, they're vegetatively propagated. So they're propagated either through cuttings or vines or plantlets, and the diseases can be transmitted with those plantlets. So we need to be sure that as we move plantlets around the region to assist with breeding, that we're not transmitting diseases. So this is why we've set up the Roots, Tubers and Bananas East Africa Germplasm Exchange Laboratory, which we call RTB EAGEL.
This new facility is funded through the Crops to End Hunger initiative. Now, the Crops to End Hunger initiative is a multi-funder CGIAR consortium whose aim is to really fast-track or modernize the development and delivery of some of these crops. The root tubers and banana crops are particularly very critical, especially right now when farmers in Africa are struggling with climate change. So these crops are coming in handy, not only for food and nutrition security, but to help farmers adapt better to the climate change.
RTB, as you know, the root tubers and bananas are very important crops, particularly for Africa. There are several countries in Africa where about 30 to 50% of the daily dietary requirement comes from these crops. And there are several institutions, including IITA, who are working on improving these crops, because these crops have also a lot of issues with the diseases and pests. So IITA's focus is actually improving these crops for resistance to the diseases, pests, but also now the climate change is an issue of making them climate resilient, but also definitely increasing the yield.
In the better agenda of the government, there are 5 pillars. The first pillar is enhanced agricultural productivity, whereby KEPHIS is to play a critical role through provision of high quality seeds and ensuring that other inputs are of high quality. Once we have those good quality inputs, we are going to have productivity per unit area, resulting in high productivity and food security.
So one thing we need to do if we're going to increase production is really breed for higher yield, for disease resistance, for drought tolerant, for adaptation. So we need to leverage both CGIAR and NAR's breeding programs on a regional basis.
So for over 20 years, we've been having a good collaboration with these institutions, and especially on matters of germplasm. KEPHIS has provided facilities for introduction of germplasm from various countries. These germplasm have been taken through virus indexing and virus elimination and multiplication and distributed to many countries through support from KEPHIS.
The Plant Quarantine and Biosecurity Station is the COMESA reference lab for plant health. This station was formed in 1951 for the East African countries and later taken over by KEPHIS in 1996 when KEPHIS was formed.
The tissue culture laboratory plays a major role in germplasm exchange. We currently work with several vegetatively propagated crops like sweet potato, Irish potato, cassava, yams, and also pyrethrum. The current lab that we are at is an old building. It was built 50 years ago. It was not built for purpose as a tissue culture lab. Therefore, we have challenges of contamination, electricity, and water quality, and limited space. Therefore, in the new lab, the RTB EAGEL lab, we expect to have bigger space to hold more material, new equipment. The lab will be built for purpose, therefore will reduce contamination. We are expecting to have a borehole that will also provide clean water that will not affect our major equipment like thermotherapy and distiller that are very important in tissue culture.
So this station offers diagnostic services. It has a total of 6 labs that have the capacity to test over 100 plant pests. So we offer support to the tissue culture lab by ensuring that the material that is imported into the country in form of tissue culture is tested free of all the major pests of concern to the country. The lab does over 14,000 samples every year. Out of them, any samples that test positive for any pest of concern is intercepted and is not allowed for distribution in the country.
This station is going to host RTB EAGEL lab, and we'll be receiving samples, plant material samples for RTB material from all over Africa. Then we are going to be cleaning them of those diseases here in this lab, and then multiplying them and distributing them back to the country where the material came from, and also to other countries in the region. In so doing, the RTB EAGEL lab will serve as a resource center for breeders and propagators.
This lab is going to enhance the collaboration across the RTB breeding programs, and it's going to speed up as well the breeding processes by recycling the parents back into the breeding programs much faster than what we do today. It will also speed up the availability of material to farmers, right? They are going to access the latest genetics that we are developing in our breeding programs. It's a big change because we can do it much faster. And of course, bringing innovation to farmers' field, but also in the breeding processes.
In this effort to modernize these collaborative breeding networks, the establishment of this facility here today at KEPHIS will provide a means for exchange of germplasm, which will enable us to make sure that this germplasm that we're exchanging within the network is clean, free of pests and pathogens, and also is true to type, meaning that the true identity of this germplasm is known.
Over the years, KEPHIS has been a center of excellence for germplasm exchange, seed certification, and phytosanitary services, not only for Kenya, but for Africa as a whole. So we really expect that this is a very strategic location for this type of facility, and that it will continue serving Africa region as a whole.
This type of effort is right now is fragmented. Each institution is doing their work in disseminating the varieties they are working on. So the platform like RTB EAGEL will be really instrumental in providing one platform where the germplasm exchange can be accelerated. So our belief is that this platform can actually fasten the process between the hybrid varieties and then the product reaching to the farmers and also the other stakeholders. This platform can also provide a platform for the capacity building where the people from the other countries as well as Kenya can come, learn and go back into their country and do that.
With the new laboratory, we are going to really stretch the kind of services we are currently having and the collaboration we are having to Kenya and beyond.
The new lab will play a key role in faster cleaning and multiplication of high-value plant materials for roots, tubers and bananas, which is very essential in enhancing food availability and nutrition in the country. Therefore, it will be essential in promoting the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, BETA, which is key in ensuring that our people have food to better their lives and improve their livelihoods.
So this lab is really designed to be a hub where breeding material and other varieties can be brought to the lab, and we will have state-of-the-art diagnostics and virus indexing to test this material to make sure it's absolutely clean. And then we'll be able to distribute it to other breeding programs for evaluation, for further crossing, and as starter material for seed systems, where they can do within country additional propagation to make this material available to farmers once it's gone through the national performance trials and is released within those countries.
In an effort to modernize further, we are implementing state-of-the-art systems, both in terms of diagnostics as well as in terms of digitization of all of this. You can see, for example, we have digitized barcodes on all of these, where we'll be able to track and trace the movement of this material.
The International Potato Center highly appreciates this kind of collaboration with KEPHIS, other CGIAR centers, and a diverse range of partners at national level, regional level, and globally.
So KEPHIS is a very right place to build this type of facility, and IITA values the partnership with KEPHIS, which we have been actually for a long time, but also the NARS and the other CG center like SIP. And IITA also like to thank GIZ and the One CGIAR for this type of support through the Crop to End Hunger, because without that support, this type of initiative could not have happened. And we're looking forward for building this facility, but also seeing the full utilization of the facility for the germplasm exchange in the region and the capacity building.
KEPHIS appreciates the support from the Kenyan government and the sponsor, which is the GIZ, for the funding of the construction of the root, tubers and banana East African Germplasm Exchange Lab under the Crops to End Hunger program. I want to thank the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture and International Potato Center for the wonderful collaboration and for the tremendous support in the construction of this new facility. And I look forward to more collaborations in the years to come. Thank you very much.